And in 1 or 2 seconds, I can press go live on LinkedIn.
Amazing. We love technology.
Mhm.
And it is a tool, just like our
Saying,
imagination or
hello.
many other things. And we get to use it to our advantage.
Yes, we persist.
Okay.
We persist. We are now live on all three. It's Rewire Refresh. We are looking at
Stopping procrastination and
stagnation.
stagnation.
And we're
So
navigating it. We're navigating it.
that's it, sorry, navigating. And that is a key part, yes, navigating procrastination and stagnation. So, Rory, what would you say were the opposites of those two things?
Oh, I would say procrastination, stagnation. Procrastination, clarity. And that's an interesting one to delve into, actually. Clarity. Why is clarity the opposite of procrastination rather than something like momentum? Because the momentum is the opposite of stagnation, but also procrastination fuels stagnation, or does stagnation fuel
Yeah.
procrastination?
Yeah, which one ignites the other? Yeah, it's a really good point. And for us as coaches in particular, it's important for us to be clear because vagueness and fog, we don't see our vision and it's not as compelling and bright and near and panoramic 360 view. And so that's really important to have that clarity as well. Be clear and be visible and having that momentum. So we're either moving towards our dreams or away from our dreams. And this is why we thought today we will meet people where they're at, including yourself, Rory, and amazingly said, yep, I'm up for coaching. And just to see how easy it is to coach yourself as well, because that's something that we're so passionate about, you and I as coaches, and many others, of teaching people how to fish rather than giving you the fish. It's really important that we get to coach ourselves for happiness, success, whatever it is in any given moment. So we've got this huge bag of tools, don't we? And we're sharing them. So with this case of procrastination and stagnation, I've just got a few questions and a few kind of avenues I want to take you down. Are you good with that, Rory?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So for yourself and you listening as well to this out there, a lot of the time we can throw the word overwhelm around. Okay. And even though today, before this call, Rory, you didn't say overwhelm, it almost, without you saying it, sounded more like you were saying overloaded. Happily overloaded in a way because you are so creative and you've said yes to all these amazing things. And now there's quite a lot. And if we believe that we've got a limited amount of energy and time, so like that capacity, then the plate may feel quite full. Am I right or am I right?
Mhm.
So first of all, Rory, with this, one of my first questions to you is where is the overloading coming from? Mental, emotional, and or physical overload.
Um, Today I noticed it's probably emotional and a bit of and mental. They kind of talking to each other.
Okay. And where do you feel it most in your body?
So it's kind of running from the back of my head down the back
Hmm.
of my spine and back. which is usually it might be here, but it's not necessarily so
Yep.
heavy here. It feels like I think it's because I've already done a lot of self work that I usually do in the mornings to clear it, so I can get on with it, and I'm not. Because it
Mm.
could have been if I hadn't have known how to do that, like you just said about the the self-coaching piece,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
putting it into practice. If I hadn't have known how to do that, then I wouldn't have cleared it. I wouldn't be here. I might have like said, I'm just staying in bed.
yeah, yeah. I've got you. And so now, even though for us in the UK it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon, there's still plenty of the day to be had. So this is great that we get to reground here and then be productive. And I say that as well because so many times people could say, "Oh, you're busy. Oh, I'm really busy." And it can come across as a negative connotation sometimes. So an easy flip for that for me anyway is I'm so productive or I'm proactive. And again, that shifts in your body. So, with that, how are you supporting yourself up until now with the day? And then, moving forward, how do you want to support yourself?
How do I want to support myself, or how am I supporting myself?
How are you supporting yourself?
Today, it's a lovely question. I've done clearance through breathing and tapping, and even had a wonderful call with a wonderful mentor as well earlier this morning, running through topics that came about. It wasn't necessarily specifically for me, but it was what was coming up generally. We did a cool talk, which helped a lot because it always does anyway. So I've addressed a certain amount, the level of it. So that's what I've done so far. I think what's coming up is, and this probably is true for a lot of people, is the feelings of I can't do this stuff until this is done. And there's something out of my control stopping me from addressing that or finishing that
Mm,
off. So then
mm,
everything else feels like it can't move forward. It's like
yeah.
it's this chaos and structure thing that comes along to notice how um, there's this element to making plans, making steps to actually get to somewhere.
Mm,
It's the work for those that
mm,
don't do that so well, but also knowing that to be adaptable, there's got to be also plan Bs for the chaos coming in to stay in momentum along
yeah.
the way. So I've been noticing that too. So what I've been noticing around that is allowing movement, allowing forgetting what I'm up to for 5 seconds rather than running away and procrastinating completely. Going away, maybe it's a drink of water just to be to clarity, and
Yeah.
clear water, drink the water, then come back straight away. So it's like a
Mm,
refreshment,
mhm.
um, so that the so that I'm still carrying on seeing what because there's often sometimes it's like that thing of like with technology, there'd be a thing that feels like it's not working at all.
Yeah.
And keep going with it, the mental cognition can't compute or
Mm,
compete and compute with it.
mm,
But then giving up completely, I've noticed that that little mental little bit of clarity from just going away and coming back, I've suddenly thought of a different angle or a different thing to try. And as soon as I do that, it works.
yeah.
That's so when you say how am I looking after my supporting, I'm doing
Mm,
that kind of work. I'm doing
yeah.
that. I'm not giving up, but I'm not pressurizing myself to perform in a way in which has to be perfect.
Got you. I hear you. Thank you so much for that. And just to reflect something back, what you said beautifully of that there is a plan A and these are the steps, and there is a plan B. So the question I was going to ask you was, is it true that you must only complete plan A in these steps? And you already answered it by saying, no, there's a plan B. Something that's interesting as well is you have used the word can't quite a bit, which pretty much means impossible. And I highly recommend to look in the dictionary and actually look up the word can't or cannot, because it's that in itself is putting that language out there. Just to keep this ball moving in momentum, Rory, I'm going to keep going and see what else comes up, okay? So beautiful reflections and awareness there. I'd like to offer for you and the people listening, you get to make a choice on what gets to be delegated, what gets to be deleted, and also what gets to be on hold, or what you are choosing to kind of hold on to even for yourself. And that can take that in any way that comes to you. And the other thing is to see when we feel so overwhelmed, let's say, if you freeze in overwhelm and you have that nervous system shut down, then what do you get to do to support you to navigate that? So, not that it can't be controlled or completed. And you gave such a beautiful example of simply leaving the space you're in, moving, having that movement, changing your physiology, shifting, having that clarity with the clear water, fresh start, and coming back. So that was really great. And the thing is, you actually get to do that because that's the work, that's the practice. Not just, oh, it won't make a difference. No, you go, don't you? And that's what we do with PQ repping. So a few other things just to bring to the table. Thinking of the last 7 days, right? What may have taken you away or distracted you, or that was more important than you keeping your word or really sticking to the goal that you'd set? What would you say?
I think it comes back around to what goals did I set again, and what and how and like how many things that I want to get done. Like I mentioned before, if I've had so many ideas
Yeah.
I picked like 3 or 4 things to do this week,
Mm,
am I being clear enough with those things, and am I
yeah.
sticking to them? I use my diary as the main source of reminders so that I can stay in flow, get a lot done, and that block for doing things like we're here now. We don't have to think about being here now doing this, and because we've done it enough to just turn up. We don't have to plan until we arrive, decide, and do it. And that's an example of how the diary can work for those that a it's cognitive overload and overwhelm to think about stuff before actually putting it into action in the first place, through to doing enough planning so that when we turn up at those moments, we are prepared enough to get enough done in that flow.
Yeah.
And so the reason why I'm sharing all that is that one of the things that's actually got in the way, the cog in the wheel, is the diary stopped working properly. Not fully, but
Okay.
something's stopped working with it. So
Mm,
what I'm used to doing with all my organization is put on hold in some way that I was going to do today, which is taking up. This is why it's probably more, and this is really interesting. What's coming up for me, the coaching that's
mm,
coming up for me is that because we can get good at certain things, our level of standard of what's good or bad about it raises, so that even a dip when we were here and absolute chaotic before we could manage something completely at all, and
Yeah.
then we get better at it, when it dips down here, it can feel just as much as like, oh no, everything's going wrong. But it's not. So the level of the emotion compared to what is actually rationally perceivable as working or not working
Yeah. Yeah.
is fascinating.
It
And when
is.
you can easily make something wrong more, even if we're at a high level performance of a particular level of getting things done.
Yeah, definitely. And that's really a good point of giving yourself that grace and the patience and really seeing it as more of an experiment and a fun game because it can be trial and error. Until the light bulb was created, there was thousands and thousands of light bulbs that flickered or didn't work at all. So
And then they still run out and you still have to replace them.
yeah, yeah,
Those
work in
just at those
progress.
moments, just at those moments when you might have needed light.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I love that. Thank you, Rory. And with those questions that I just asked as well, it is a really good reflection to see what patterns you can see and what if you are moving towards or away from your goals and desires as well. So please do you listening, replay this and jot those questions down if you haven't already. And we've got a few more. So Rory, thinking of the last 7 days, what were the habits that you defaulted to? What would you say?
That's a great one.
Mm,
Because I was doing again really well. I mean, considering again, it's just one of those things where the reiteration on it, I've done so
mm,
much in the last 7 days, and it's only the faltering moment in the middle of it where I had to stop for a whole day or two because I'd slipped into a habit of um old old patterns. Yeah. What was the habit? It
mm,
was it was how do I put it? It's almost like it can be celebrating for too long. It can actually be going away from the thing because what actually happened was is something stopped working so well, and I know that I needed to step away, but I stepped away for too long, which meant that I felt like it was difficult to come back to for so it's really interesting that I'm now noticing a pattern of that's happening a little bit today, and I'm doing smaller versions, but if it goes on a bigger scale,
yeah.
I can do it for a whole day or two.
Okay.
But the point being is
Yeah.
that it's important. Again, perspective is important because on a high level performance note, we're supposed to remember to take time off, like completely take time off for that amount of time. That it's not meant. I'm not meant. I'd worked solidly for 4 days before that, which was entirely appropriate to have a day off or 2 days off.
Yeah.
So it's really fascinating, and now I'm sort of like getting back into the flow, and it's like
Yeah.
still the pieces of the puzzle are not flowing as much as I'd like. So
Yeah.
what are those patterns, habits? Are they were they appropriate? Probably overdone, but
Mm,
but the initial intention is more to celebrate and have time off
yeah.
as well.
So that sounds like a lesson and learning from that. And it was amazing, the light bulb moments uh of you really realizing these things. So the last part of this that really kind of goes into the feelings side of it and embodying it into actually our body is what parts of you did you default to in those moments? And if you want to, you can consider that saboteurs, Or if it's something else that comes up, then I'll just repeat that. What parts of you did you default to in those moments?
Can only be described as again from perspective. One piece is like if it's saboteurs, if people might be avoiding coming back, avoiding or
Mm,
initial wanting to have a break, but then avoiding addressing and staying on target, coming back sooner.
okay.
Or is it just the underlying bit that feels out of control that is
Mm,
frustrating
mm.
and that those parts of me, again, more hyperachiever,
Yeah.
but they're not part they're not me as such. So they're not
Mm.
parts of me. I suppose they're entities. I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, so yeah, noticing them, yeah, it's fascinating.
And it's definitely something to use a journal prompt or to go further into. So, for example, saboteur work that we do, it's looking at okay, what are the traits, the characteristics, and the justification lies that the hyperachiever brings, because the hyperachievers, which saboteur I was thinking, and I like that you said about like an entity, because it the saboteurs, all 10 of them are a part of us, and we get to befriend them and we get to support them and listen. And so maybe, just maybe, you get to give a little bit of attention and love and respect to those parts of you that are kind of knocking on your back, maybe by your spine and your neck, of saying, "Hey, Rory, I'm here." Okay, so lastly with this, and it's up to you if you want to close your eyes, and if you want to put your hand on your heart, one on your stomach. I always roll my shoulders back and really straighten my spine, and have that spine as your soul center, like an uncooked piece of spaghetti. It's where your soul can travel up and down. You can really connect your whole body and wiggle your toes. Know that gravity has got you safe and sound. You're exactly where you're meant to be. And just you can ask yourself at any given time, what does my head say? And just listen to your mind as I say that. What comes into your mind, and hold on to it. I'll repeat that. What does my head say? What does my heart say? If you take a deep breath, almost hit the back of your spine using that diaphragm. Really embrace and embody that and feel that around your heart. What does my heart say? And what does my gut say? That's right. What does my gut say? So you've got your three brains there connecting and aligning, head, heart, and gut. And the final piece is pleasure. Your compelling vision. What does my pleasure say? Because that's the desire. Without desire, we're not going to move and shift and act and live and feel and be like we truly want to be. And so, with that, it really comes down to what am I feeling in my body? And then, of course, with all of the answers that you've got from that, you can then choose to change. Instead, I want to be this way and feel this way. And I think this. I believe this. And when you believe it, that is your reality.
Amazing. Would you like the answers?
Yes.
The head said, be kind first,
Mm,
which was the cue to actually go to the heart. Immediately went to the heart because that's where
mm,
kindness lives. And then it was, I am kind. So or being kind now. Be kind
mm,
now. So be kind first. Be kind now. Gut said rest and digest
mm,
because the immediate thing of the thing that's out of control
mm,
it feels frustrating. It's actually not to push, it's to rest and digest and see what
mm.
else can be done. And because one of the realizations, as I was sharing before, was also that thing of when things are going a certain way, there's that argument to say that that's the just because logically I want them to go in that order because I've set them out in that order because that's logically how I'll get there first.
Yeah.
Um, it's actually not what life will bring as such. So those steps and what we're doing now is the step that I was not expecting to have happen that brings the pieces together to then work out how to rewrite that in a way,
Amazing.
in an order that is useful.
Yeah.
And the pleasure piece, how
Mm,
do I want to feel,
mm.
is joy of the process without avoiding or taking so much time off and getting pleasurized.
Yeah, yeah.
From the difference between enjoying and pleasurizing is interesting.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? When we do this and that, right? That this and that mentality, okay, which we want a both and, right? We are problem solvers. We have solutions. We have a plan A and we also have a plan B. We shift and we change. You use the word adapt, and I loved that. Um, with it comes back to the question that I always ask of would you rather be pushed by fear or pulled by love? And that's exactly it. It's the pleasure or pain. And some people are really, really motivated with the pain. And also what comes with that is sacrifice and punishment and a lot of negativity, which actually brings us to our saboteurs, where we have this self-sabotaging imposter syndrome, procrastination, stagnation. So actually, I want you to focus on what you can do, what you can complete, and what you can not control, but adapt. So focus on your desires and see the energy that changes around that, and it's going to be amazing. So please do let us know, even if you just try one piece or answer one question from today. Let's see what shifts and changes for you. I'm so excited.
Nice one, Michelle. Awesome, awesome work. I'm gonna work out and reflect on those things, rest and digest, enjoy,
Mm,
not pleasurize. And thank you, clarity and momentum
yeah.
instead of procrastination and stagnation.
Yes.
Awesome work. Rewire, refresh. Let's make it better. Let us know what you got from this in the comments, highlights, shares. When you share, it shares it to someone else that may need to hear this. Let's share the positive insights and the reflections and the questions and reach
Yeah.
out if you need to for any reason. Much love. All the best.